a guy like Ricky Hatton, Malignaggi should be throwing triple jabs. Jab, 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 left hook. Because if he's a left-handed puncher, he's supposed to work double the time, triple the time with that left hand. There he goes. He's waiting for Ricky Hatton to come in when he should really start it. He should be first.
Like that. That's the way for Malignaggi to actually win rounds. Keep Hatton off of him with the jab and step away.
He should be first throwing the punches and last throwing the punches.
This round has gone better for Paulie. There haven't been nearly as many clinches in the round. Not as many situations where he's reached out and grabbed Hatton and pulled him to him. He gets hit with a left hand there.
And Hatton is showing a little bit here of slip. He's not lunging in. He's a little bit under control when he comes forward, moving his head as you just saw there, doing better.
Yeah, I mean, what he's doing is allowing Paulie to miss, and he slips to one side and comes back whether with a right hand or a left hook. Also, what he's doing is waiting for Paulie to throw that jab so he can block it and come back with his own jab.
And he's controlling the territory. This isn't a territorial game like football, but you get a sense that he's controlling what part of this ring they're in.
Yeah,
and he's in charge.
And he's comfortable. He looks comfortable, and he seems like he feels good about the situation in the ring.
But in terms of landed punches, Malignaggi has his best round of the fight. And the color of the fight changes slightly in the sixth. Coming up tomorrow night, another installment of De La Hoya Pacquiao 24/7.
I can train as hard as I want, but I can't do it myself. I need a team.
I love to fight toe-to-toe. I love to throw a lot of punches. This is the biggest moment in my boxing career.
Best known fighter in the sport against the #1 pound for pound, Oscar De La Hoya versus Manny Pacquiao. Saturday, December 6th, live on HBO pay-per-view.
Okay? All right, don't worry about the crowd. Get in your rhythm like you're doing now, okay? All right, there we go now. Now I want the straight right hand, not that uppercut. If you're here, shoot it. Outside, no good. All right? Let's get to the double jab, okay? Give me more face.
Paulie Malignaggi given credit by CompuBox for landing 15 punches in the 6th round. Every single one of them was a jab. Harold, how do you have it through 6?
Okay, Jim. 5 rounds to 1, 59-55, Ricky Hatton. Jim, Ricky Hatton couldn't ask for more than a guy who can't punch and is going to stand right in front of him and wrestle with him and let Hatton score the hardest shots inside. And that's what we got here. Paulie can only fight if he moves, if he throws the 7-8 punch combinations that made him what he is. You know, Paulie was always a guy who threw a lot of shots. When he gets inside now, all he's doing is one jab, one jab, one jab. Where are the 6 punch combinations? 5-1, Hatton.
Is he missing the 6 punch combinations because he's reticent to release his hands that way, Lennox?
Well, you know, he's going up against a guy that's giving him a lot of pressure. And what he needs to do is, like Harold says, throw those combinations. And like I say, you know, as far as throwing his jab, he needs to throw triple, double jabs, double hooks, everything with his left hand, but they have to be double and triple.
Well, we're seeing 4 and 5 punch combinations, but they're coming from Ricky Hatton. And Hatton has rocked Malignaggi with a couple of big lefts in this round. And there's another one.
See, Malignaggi, when he gets hit, he's looking to put his head down. He should be looking to keep his head up and score back.
Frankly, Malignaggi is fighting so defensively at times, it looks as though he's given up on winning the fight and is simply trying to get through it. He doesn't have the kind of body language that suggests that he really knows what he needs to do to win the fight.
Well, you know, he knows that Ricky Hatton is always coming, so he's trying to set him up and making him walk onto a left hand. Whether he can make him walk onto a left right or have the power to make him walk onto a left right is a question. But Malignaggi hasn't thrown that right hand a lot or overthrown it today like he's supposed to be.
Malignaggi landed a couple of good counter left-hand shots. There's another one, as suddenly he is timing Hatton's assaults and getting off first.
Hatton looks very eager to fight. Walked into a couple of punches and landed a couple there. And given what he goes through with weight, it's rather impressive that he's fighting 3 minutes of every round after having to take off 40 to 45 pounds between fights.
Right, he doesn't look under-conditioned in this fight.
You know, eventually that's going to catch up with you. Age catches up to you, and it's, you know, when you put on, when the age catches up to you, it's harder to take off that weight.
No. Let him up.
Big left by Hatton walking in. Just busted Malignaggi right across the chops. And that punctuates a round in which Ricky Hatton landed several solid shots.
You're hitting too many left hooks, you understand me? Okay, listen to me. You're not giving me enough right hand. Every time you throw the right hand, you're hitting them. Okay? Give me the right hands off the jab, baby.
Your jab work good when you use it, man. You don't use it enough. All right then. Let me get right.
This side over here, boss.
And here we see Hatton wobbling Malignaggi with a straight left. This is a punch that is seen to be getting through by Hatton frequently.
Very active round 7 for Ricky Hatton. 18 out of 45 landed according to CompuBox. That's the high number of connected punches in the fight for Hatton. 12 of the 18 were power shots. Malignaggi landing 12 out of 37. A couple of counter right hands, mostly left jabs. You heard Buddy McGirt asking Paulie Malignaggi to throw more rights. Floyd Mayweather in Hatton's corner said, your jab works when you use it more.
Good punch.
There's a right hand by Malignaggi. And that's exactly why McGirt was asking for it. Because at this point, Hatton doesn't expect Malignaggi to throw right hands.
No, and you know, these are the type of punches he needs to throw to keep Hatton off. You know, whether his hands can withstand him throwing more of those, but this is what he needs to do.
And he's only going to keep Hatton off momentarily because Ricky's made clear that he doesn't think Paulie can hurt him and is willing to simply walk through his stuff.
Well, what he's walking through is jabs, and most boxers, if you give them the choice between walking through a jab and a right hand, they'll rather walk through a jab. And Ricky knows that there's no right hand coming after that jab, so it makes his job a lot easier.
Another big left hand by Hatton. Moves Malignaggi 3 feet back. There's the right hand landing again for Paulie Malignaggi as he pops Hatton while moving away. Again, Malignaggi reaches out to grab Hatton. Kenny Bayless warns Malignaggi.
You know, Malignaggi, you know, although he gets in there, he doesn't do any inside fighting.
That's the point.
And
once they're in a clinch, he doesn't try to throw punches.
No, I mean, that left hand, that he needs to be working overtime. He needs to be either working the right hand inside or something, but he's electing, looking to reach out and hold.
A left and an uppercut from Hatton shook Malignaggi momentarily.
Again.
And as you suggested earlier, Jim, Malignaggi's body language is not that of a winner.
Nope.
This is where I would be telling Ricky Hatton to, you know, after he throws that jab, throw an uppercut, because Malignaggi will duck, and that's where he's going. He's looking to hold and grab. throws that uppercut.
Now, I want you to do this right here. So you have to throw it, quick throw punch. So you straight right hand, left hook, right down the middle.
Wow, wow.
See? So right down the middle.
Listen, on the inside, he's pulling your head down, hitting you with the uppercut. Stay from the inside. There's no need for you to be inside. Okay? You feeling okay? Okay, so Paulie, let's go, baby. Let's start getting to the double jabs and the straight right hand. Okay? Now, if the right hands don't land, don't worry about the
And here we look at Malignaggi's best punch, which is a right hand. One of the only few right hands he's thrown in this fight. And here's Hatton throwing a straight right, and this is where the uppercut comes in because Malignaggi puts down his head after he throws his punches.
Malignaggi's face is marked, and there's room there for Hatton to maybe create some bleeding if he can get to some of those marks. Hatton's left eye has been swelling since early in the fight, and he rips Malignaggi with a left hook, and Malignaggi sticks out his tongue and clowns for him a little bit, but everyone could see the impact of the punch.
Here we go.
I don't think that was a tongue lashing for Hatton.
Time.
Don't know what's going on with these gloves.
Taped gloves.
And they're taped it a couple times in the corner. They need to get better tape than that. That is the wrong tape to be using.
He got a chance to tie his shoes after being wobbled by a big Juan Lascano combination in the 10th round in Manchester back in May. That was an eye-opener for some observers at a moment when Hatton seemed to need at least kind consideration, and got it.
All right, that's good. All right.
After that fight, Hatton fired trainer Billy Graham, who had been with him since boyhood, and hired Floyd Mayweather Sr., in effect preventing Mayweather from being able to work with Oscar De La Hoya for De La Hoya's upcoming fight with Manny Pacquiao. Hatton seems to feel as though he can do business in this round.
Well, they've had a long enough rest, and I'm sure Hatton feels that
Work out of there.
There are
that he's winning this fight.
bruises under both of the eyes of Malignaggi.
Work out, fellas. Come on, here we go.
And it looks as though his spirit has been bruised as well.
Oh, no. Work out. Stop. Watch your hands. All that.
See, you know, in a fight like this where you see Malignaggi has such great boxing ability and he's just relying on his jab, it makes me feel that something's wrong with his right hand. He's not throwing as much as he should be, really dependent on his left hand. And, you know, I just feel that he's just one-handed in there, and he's at a disadvantage.
I have a wild hunch it doesn't matter. I mean, even if his right hand were absolutely perfect, he's never had power in it anyway. And it seems to me as though if he's reluctant to throw his right hand, it's partially because of Ricky Hatton's counter left hooks and the accuracy and the quickness with which Hatton has been ripping him. Looking at Malignaggi in this fight, I think you have to credit his managers and his promoters with a good job getting him to the top rung of the 140-pound weight class. For a guy with no power whatsoever to have gotten into this fight against Ricky Hatton, that's pretty good business work.
I agree. Very good management. He's a good little fighter, but when you get to the top of the list, you're going to fight somebody who's stronger than him.
It's inevitable.
you're forcing the clinches. When he's getting close to you, you're reaching out. No need for that, Paulie. If you're gonna go in with a double jab. Don't go in and force the clamp, because as soon as your hands go on the outside, he's coming up the middle.
You lose.
Let him grab me.
Huh?
Let him grab me.
Yeah, when you let that's what that man. When you do that, push him off you. Push him off, break with left hook, right hand. Like I told you, man. Hey.
And here you see Ricky hitting Malignaggi with a good punch. Malignaggi accepting it, realizing he got hit with a good punch, sticking out his tongue saying, yeah, you got me, but I'm still here.
Paulie Malignaggi landed 1 out of 7 attempted power punches in the 9th round. Again, in CompuBox counting, a power punch is anything other than a jab. Malignaggi has landed an average of fewer than 3 power punches per round in the fight. Harold, how do you have it through 9?
Okay, Jim, 89, 82, 8 rounds to 1, Ricky Hatton. Jim, I got to tell you something. This is not the Paulie Malignaggi I know. And I've seen most of his fights because I'm a New Yorker. Jim, he's not moving. The 5-6 punch combinations ain't there. He's standing right in front of this guy, letting him get inside. And Ricky Hatton is much stronger, landing the stronger, cleaner shots and winning the fight on clean, effective punching. It's not Malignaggi. It's a different guy altogether.
No, it is not.
Should be boxing.
It is Malignaggi, Harold. It's cause and effect. Hatton isn't let him being the Malignaggi that you saw against lesser fighters. He's jumping across the ring. He's very quick getting into Malignaggi, who can't escape him except by getting on a bicycle, and that's not his style.
As Hatton said coming into the fight, I respect Malignaggi, but his big wins are over Lovemore Endo and Herman Ngoja. I have fought better opposition than that. I think at the end of the day, you have to credit Hatton with being correct on that score. But his wins over Luis Collazo and Jose Luis Castillo and Juan Arango and other fighters like that add up more.
Castazoo, who's
yeah,
maybe the best 140-pounder we've seen.
Hatton beat Zoo at the end of his career before a huge and tumultuous crowd in Manchester. That's really the fight that made him an international star.
Made him quit.
Yeah, I mean, you know, there you have it again. Malignaggi electing to hold and not really box inside. This is part of the fight.
Watch your heads, watch. Okay, here we go. Watch your heads, heads.
You know, Ricky's sensing this fight's going 100% his ways. He has to be careful. I don't think he has to be careful of any power shots by Malignaggi, but, you know, he wants to end this fight with 2 good rounds and a good performance.
Well, Hatton's a competitor. He'd love to walk away with a knockout. It's not going to be that easy, given that Malignaggi appears to be more interested in finishing the rounds, holding when necessary, and hasn't found an answer to try to give himself a chance to win.
Relax, Rick, relax, just relax.
Take your time.
I don't know what Mayweather has done for Hatton, but he hasn't hurt him.
Well, you know, I did see some good things in there. You know, like I said, he's slipping to a side and trying to parry some punches.
Yeah, you get a bit excited with that. Just get your position first.
Yeah. You need you to keep pressure on him, keep your hand up good, or move your head.
Every time
your
I
hand
hit
up.
him, and that's a problem. Don't reach
Huh?
him. You don't have to reach him every time.
You understand me?
I'm good.
I know, but you're not punching. I'm not going to see you take these shots. Okay?
Sounds to me as though Buddy McGirt is telling Paulie Malignaggi that he might stop the fight unless Malignaggi can do better in these last couple of rounds. Now that has supposed to be an ego deflator for Malignaggi. Maybe Buddy is simply trying to wake the fighter up and say, you're in a desperate situation. I'm going to threaten your ego by telling you that I might stop this fight. You had better throw some punches.
What could be more desperate than a fighter who appears to be way behind and he can't knock his opponent out? It's like being out in the middle of the ocean with nothing in sight but water.
And having been hammered by two left hands inside, he grabbed Hatton's leg before Bayless pulled him apart.
You know, I think his trainer's thinking about throwing in the towel.
They're going to throw it in right now. You are exactly right. Absolutely right, Lennox Lewis. Buddy McGirt came up the steps and he pushes Malignaggi away as Malignaggi complains to him.
No, I think he did the right thing because there was no way he's going to win the fight. And what is he going to do? Just accept punishment all the time?
Well, he was getting a beating. He was getting a beating in the body. And Malignaggi is very hurt and humiliated. He wanted to go the distance at least. And you can feel his pain in a way, both physically and emotionally.
Now, in case you missed this, here's what's going on in the ring. And as Kenny Bayless pulls them apart, Buddy McGirt comes up the steps. See him behind Malignaggi over there in the corner? And he has a Nevada State Athletic official with him waving the towel. This makes clear to Kenny Bayless that they want the fight stopped. Hatton throws his arms up. Now watch what happens between McGirt and Malignaggi. As Malignaggi says, how could you do that? He pushes McGirt away and vice versa.
You know, most boxers want to finish the round. You got one round left. Obviously, you want to go out on your feet. You don't want a fight to be stopped like that. But, you know, a trainer has his duty. And, you know, there was no way that Malignaggi was going to win this fight anyway. He just didn't want to get any unnecessary shots or be humiliated anymore.
He was out of it from round 3 on. Ricky Hatton rolling to a TKO victory. Michael Buffer has the official particulars.
Ladies and gentlemen, here at the MGM Grand, referee Kenny Bayless calls a halt to the contest. The official time, 28 seconds, round number 11. The winner by TKO victory, still the IBO Ring Magazine light welterweight champion of the world, the fighting pride of Manchester, England, Ricky Hitman Hatton.
So as the Hatton band plays a victory song, we take a look at CompuBox numbers for the fight. Ricky Hatton landing a total of 124 to 91 for Malignaggi. Hatton throwing 174 more punches than his opponent. Malignaggi actually connected at a higher percentage, but who could tell? His connects were so few and far between. And particularly in the jab category, Hatton wasn't looking to win any jabbing contests with Malignaggi. He was looking to throw and land a few more than has been the case in the past, and that he accomplished. 25 out of 139 may not look like much, but it's better than Hatton did against Floyd Mayweather. And in so doing, he helped to limit Malignaggi's output of power punches. He only was able to throw 133 of them through 11 rounds, and landing at 25. It's an average of about 2.5 power punches per round for Paulie Malignaggi. At the end of the day, against a fighter like Hatton, with the kind of physical effort that Hatton puts forth, that output for Malignaggi is pathetic, and is the reason that the fight was eventually stopped. And Larry stands by with Ricky the Hitman Hatton.
Thank you very much, Jim. Congratulations, Ricky. You call this returning to the scene of the crime where you lost to Floyd Jr. What is your sense of how motivated you were in this fight to prove that you could still fight on the highest level?
Well, I enjoyed it better here this time than I did last time, that's for sure. But as I said, I've just come into a new camp. I've been working on new things. think me and Floyd together have been together probably about 7, 8 weeks, so it doesn't happen overnight. But I think I showed glimpses of the, the stuff that I can do. I think frustration was getting in. I mean, Paulie, even though he fights and he's known for his speed, he's a lot tougher than he looks. And I think I hurt him too early in the fight. The first punch I threw, I practically hurt him with, and from there on in, it seemed to be foot on the gas, and slightly at times went back to the old Ricky Hatton, but slowly but surely Floyd will get me completely out of that.
And what do you feel you were doing in this fight that we hadn't seen before in recent fights with Floyd Sr.?
Well, a little bit more patient. I said I would, me and Floyd said I'd be my usual aggressive self, but I was picking shots off a bit better. Left my chin out to dry a couple of times, but I was picking shots off better, using my jab a bit better, moving my head a little bit more. It can still get a damn sight better, I'm under no illusions, because Paulie picked me off with, but I think before the fight, if you said which opponent will probably cause Ricky Hatton the most, which style of opponent will cause Ricky Hatton the most trouble, you'd have probably said Paulie, but I think when the stoppage come, I think Paulie was looking a bit spent. Maybe a lot would see it as a bit premature. I know Paulie did. But
did you, sir? Are you saying you sensed very early on that you were the much stronger fighter, and therefore you could go after him as determinedly as you did?
Yeah, very much so. I mean, I haven't seen the tape yet, and I don't know whether it looked like that from the outside. But you could see, I think it was the second round I hurt him, and then I started cocking my punches a bit too much and telegraph him, and that's what you can't do with someone who's as fast as Paulie. Floyd was telling me in the corner, listen, got plenty of time to do it, the sooner you catch someone, that should be the warning sign to slow down, not go faster, really,
So is this fight put you in a position you feel to go forward in the next stage of your career, refreshing, having more confidence that you can compete on the highest level?
I would like to think so. I mean, I think if you stick Paulie in with any of the fighters, with his style, loads of left jabs to contend with, drops his shoulder, spins off the ropes. A lot of my punches were sailing over the top of him. He was going very, very low at times, which was awkward. I mean, I probably maybe had to feint a bit more and fetch the punches up. But I think Paulie, who would fight anyone, he would give them massive problems. He's a good fighter, and he's a lot tougher than he looks, definitely.
Conventional wisdom is that you will get to fight the winner of De La Hoya and Pacquiao. What are your feelings about that?
Yeah, bring it on. I'd definitely like to do it. I mean, as a champion, what we're doing in the game for? I mean, I've had 46 fights now. I've only lost one, and that was to the newly out of retirement Floyd Mayweather, and he was the best pound for pound. I mean, nobody will ever beat me at junior welterweight. Nobody. I really believe that. Nobody will ever beat me at junior welterweight. But what sort of a champion would I be if I just stayed in my normal weight and didn't take the big challenges on? Bring them on. That's what Ricky Hatton's all about.
Thank you. Congratulations
Thank you,
again, Ricky. Paulie, what surprised you most about him, having watched him closely, analyzed him from outside the ring? What surprised you inside the ring?
Nothing crazily surprised me. I expected a couple of different looks from Ricky because of the new training system, and I did. I got a couple of different looks, a couple more feints maybe, stuff like that. But, I don't know. I couldn't get into a rhythm, man. He's got like a awkward head movement, I guess. When my jabs were missing, he was coming underneath my jabs. He uses his short height very well. He kind of maneuvers his way inside. So, he did a good job with that. I just wanted to say, maybe I wasn't. Maybe I would have lost the fight on points had they let it continue. But I'm better than being stopped. They didn't stop the Cotto fight, and I was way worse hurt in the Cotto fight than I was in this fight. I was never really hurt in this fight. He buzzed me, I think, once in the second round. But
well, I think from our point of view outside, you would have had to knock him out to win the fight.
I understand. I understand that.
You don't knock people out.
No, I understand that. It's just like I'm better than being stopped. Ricky fought a great fight. I'm not taking anything away from him. He's a terrific fighter.
Is that just a humiliation for you?
It's it's a knockout on my record, and it shouldn't be, Larry. I was worse hurt in the Cotto fight. I was worse hurt in the Cotto fight. And I know the British fans are booing me, but you guys are great. Regardless, you boo me or cheer me, whatever. You guys always make the festivities more fun. I hope I put up a good enough fight to entertain you guys, and I know you guys are happy that your man won. But I'm better than getting stopped. That's all I'm saying. And give yourselves a round of applause. Thanks.
Thank you, Paulie. Jim?
All right, well, you heard Larry talking with Ricky Hatton about what he wants, meaning the winner possibly of Oscar De La Hoya versus Manny Pacquiao. Hatton's quote on this before the fight was, win or lose, Pacquiao's still the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. I fought Floyd Mayweather and lost when Mayweather was #1 pound-for-pound. What he really loved would be the opportunity to fight Pacquiao at 140, which is his best weight, which would mean Pacquiao coming back down in weight after he fights De La Hoya. That would be a whirlwind of a fight, right?
I think it'll be a very interesting fight, but, you know, obviously they have to agree on what weight they want to come in at, but I'm sure the fans would love to see a fight like that.
There's also a lot of talent at 135, and the prospect exists, perhaps, that fighters could move up from 135 to 140 and give Hatton some company at that weight level if, in fact, nothing spectacular happens in the way of a Hatton matchup with the winner of De La Hoya Pacquiao. Larry?
Jim, what I'm thinking about, once again, is that American fighters used to think so little of British fighters they would swim across a shark-infested Atlantic Ocean to fight those guys. They were the horizontal Brits. What happened? Here in a few weeks, we've seen Joe Calzaghe whip Roy Jones as badly as he could be whipped. We just saw Hatton defeat Malignaggi. For those who feel that American prize fighting has suffered in recent times, perhaps we can take solace from the fact that British boxing was down in horizontal for many decades. And starting with Lennox Lewis, the heavyweight champ and the best heavyweight of his time, then along came Prince Nassim, who infused more color and action into the featherweight division than we had seen before, and then Calzaghe, and now Hatton. So congratulations to the Brits, and we'll get you the next time, or the next decade.
American fans have had to get used to Manu Ginobili and Yao Ming and Dirk Nowitzki and baseball all-star games that are all Latino.
One other thing, Jim, I don't know, this phenomenon with these fans is nothing like I've ever seen before in boxing. And people don't know how that's expressed in a number. Well, I found out today, talking to some people, that for the fight with Mayweather, there were 1,400,000 pay-per-view buys in Britain, a country 1/5 of our size, at 4 o'clock in the morning, and that he made roughly $30 million for that fight. So this phenomenon is expressed in many ways, and we'll still get you the next time.
All right. Well, it's a big victory for Great Britain again. A victory for Ricky the Hitman Hatton, whose record at 45-1 is only one notch short of Calzaghe's 46-0. And yes, a brilliant era of British boxing. It began with a guy named Lennox Lewis. Thanks very much for being with us tonight. Tomorrow night, don't miss the second of 4 episodes of De La Hoya Pacquiao 24/7. Our all-access look at each fighter's final preparations for their mega fight in 2 weeks. Tuesday night at 10 p.m., Real Sports returns with a profile on disgraced Olympic sprinter Tim Montgomery, now serving time for fraud and drug dealing. If you've missed any part of tonight's telecast, you can catch it in its entirety on HBO tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. and on HBO 2 tomorrow afternoon at 5:30 p.m. and early Wednesday morning at 12:50 a.m. Next on HBO. Stay tuned for De La Hoya Pacquiao 24/7, followed by Flight of the Conchords. And now for our entire HBO crew, I'm Jim Lampley saying so long from Las Vegas, Nevada.
This has been a presentation of HBO Sports.